You type a URL, hit enter, and nothing. No error, no page, just a spinning wheel or a blank screen. Most people just refresh a few times and hope for the best, but if you've watched this channel, you actually know exactly what's supposed to happen in that moment, which means you can actually figure out where it's breaking. Let's diagnose it properly. First step, figure out if your computer can even find the address in the first place. Open a terminal or command prompt on Windows and run a simple lookup command. On Mac or Linux, that's dig, followed by the domain. On Windows, it's nslookup, followed by the domain. If you get back an IP address, DNS is working fine, and the problem is somewhere further down the line. If the command times out or comes back with an error like server can't find domain, that's a strong sign DNS itself is the problem, which we actually covered in detail back in episode 2. A quick way to confirm it's specifically DNS and not something else. Try switching your DNS server. Most operating systems let you manually set a public DNS server like 1.1.1.1 or 8.8.8.8 in your network settings. If the site suddenly loads after switching, you've confirmed DNS was the culprit. Before going further, rule out the obvious. Is your internet connection actually working? Try loading a completely different well-known site. If nothing loads anywhere, this isn't about the specific site you were trying to reach, it's your connection itself. And the fix is usually more basic: checking your Wi-Fi, restarting your router, or checking if your provider is having an outage in your area. If DNS is working and your connection is fine, but you're seeing a warning page instead of the site, something like your connection is not private, that's a certificate issue, which we broke down in episode 3. This usually means one of a few things: the site's certificate expired or it doesn't match the domain. Or, less commonly, something on your end, like your system clock being wildly incorrect, is causing your browser to think a valid certificate is invalid. You can click View Certificate Details on most of these warning pages to see exactly what triggered it, rather than just blindly clicking past the warning. If you've made it this far, DNS resolves, your connection works, no certificate warnings, but the page still won't load, the next question is whether the problem is on the server side, something we covered in episode 4. The fastest way to check: use a site status checker like Down for Everyone or JustMe.com, or search the site's name along with Down on social media. If it's a major outage, you're usually not the only one noticing, and it'll show up fast. If it turns out it really is just you, that points back to something local, worth revisiting the DNS and connection checks, or trying your phone's mobile data to isolate the network. Sometimes you do get an error and it actually tells you a lot, if you know how to read it, which is exactly what episode 5 covered. 404 means the page doesn't exist. You might have an old or broken link. A 500 or 503 means something broke on the server's end, not yours. There's nothing to fix locally, you just have to wait or try again later. And if you see a connection timeout rather than any status code at all, that usually points back to something even earlier in the chain, DNS or basic connectivity. So next time a page won't load, you don't have to just refresh and hope. Check DNS, check your connection, check for certificate warnings, and read the actual error. If you follow the full explainer series, you already understand why each of these steps matters. This is just putting that knowledge to work. If you haven't seen those episodes yet, I'll link them below. Thanks for following along. Subscribe so you don't miss the next series.